Yelena is back, right? We saw at the end of the movie she met with Lady Val. Lady Val, man, Lady Val, I need to see you. I need to see you somewhere in Hawkeye. I need to see you somewhere in the more recent movies that's coming up because she doing something. She doing something. I don't know what this is leading to, but she doing something, and I need to figure it out. I'm excited for this episode because when this episode's drop, your boy gonna be 26. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And I'll get into that a little bit later in the episode. But, we got a lot to talk about today. I'm super hyped. I freaking went on a crazy, TikTok creation / content creation weekend, bro. It was crazy. I made so much stuff. So definitely this week, y'all gonna be getting a whole lot of content. So if y'all not locked in, y'all need to get locked in. But without further ado, man, let's get into this episode. Welcome back to the Why I'm Geek show, man. This is episode 46. Episode 46 in the building. And I don't know what I'm going to name this episode, but we got a lot to talk about. So without further ado, let's jump into the news. We're starting off this week with some news that, it's not new. Even though it's news, it's not new, right? This is something we've been seeing. This is something that, I've given my opinion on before, and I don't really feel the need to necessarily go in on what I think about the whole situation, just because I've already said where I stand with it, and at least in this instance, she being straight up with it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, Ginato Wright allegedly done with the MCU and Black Panther, all together. You know what I'm saying? So because of the COVID vaccination regulations or whatever that Marvel has, and her, getting into the country, things ain't looking too good right now. You know what I'm saying, for Black Panther. Now, I can't really say what this is going to do to the overall series and the overall show, or not show, but movie. They said they filmed everything outside of her in this, so I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. It doesn't look like either side is kind of budging, and I'm sad because I really wanted for this to work, right? I really did. Now, it sucks to be in this position, because it's the way I look at her situation is similar to the way I look at Kyrie, what I'm saying, with him not playing this season so far, and it's just damned if you do, damned if you don't at this point. Yes, we will all love to see Kyrie play, right? But if he's playing and he's not happy, he ain't gonna play good. You know what I'm saying? So it's if she even get here, who's to say she's gonna do a good job? Not to say she wouldn't. They're all professionals, right? But just it don't feel right. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how they feel about certain stuff. But it just brings me back to the whole recast of T'Challa thing, right? That's been resurfacing ever since this news came out, and this happened every single time something about Ginato Wright comes out, where they're just just recast T'Challa, recast T'Challa, and I've seen some theories out there where it's T'Challa's son. That's the next Black Panther. That's what they'll end up doing, a surprise kid or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see, but it's still postponed, I think, till next year to even start filming again. So they got what, this episode comes out the 15th. They got 16 days, you know what I'm saying, to get something happening, and then hopefully we get started soon. But it's looking a little shaky for Black Panther right now. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. But that sucks to see. But on a lighter note, we had the Game Awards this week, which was, to me, a surprise. I didn't know it was happening. But usually, you would think for the Game Awards, you would just see a lot of game trailers, right? And game reveals. But we also got some movie stuff, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. We covered most of the stuff on stream, but I definitely did want to highlight some of this stuff. So games I'm excited about, that had new trailers is Horizon. Suicide Squad was something I wasn't necessarily excited about because I just figured like it was just going to be similar to like what the Marvel Avengers game that came out that has its cool moments, but I'm like, like it didn't look like it varied enough in like just gameplay style and gameplay loop or whatever like that for me at least. But with the Suicide Squad movie that came out, that was a freaking hit. It makes sense that they're dropping a movie to not necessarily go along with it, but go in the direction that I think the Suicide Squad is going to end up going from a film standpoint. We also got like a Wonder Woman game, and we got some Boba Fett stuff. So it's just a lot of stuff. Like if a franchise dropped a game, so like the game that was dropped was Star Wars Eclipse that we got a trailer reaction for, or not reaction, but a trailer reveal for. But then they also gave us like another Boba Fett trailer. So there's like with everything, there was another thing attached to it. So that was a cool thing to see because it's like, why not? You know what I'm saying? But I think that the main standout for me from the whole Game Awards and things like that was Sonic 2, the Sonic trailer, right? And this always like anytime there's casting announcement, it always puts the timeline in a frenzy, right? Whatever side of the fence you're leaning on, it's just, to me, it's hilarious people's explanations. You know what I'm saying? That's what I go to Twitter for when I'm looking at the different castings for it. But I'm super hyped for Sonic, just because the first movie was a surprise, right? We started off with a horrible freaking art style and animation style for Sonic, but they went back, postponed the movie, and went back and made it look the way it's supposed to. Now, in this instance, postponing something, it meant we were getting something good. With Black Panther, you know what I'm saying? We don't really know. We don't really know what's going to happen with that, but Sonic 2, we finally got to see Knuckles in action. We got to see, pause on that, we got to see Sonic, and we got to see Tails. We got to see Eggman in full effect. Like, he actually looked like Eggman this time, with Jim Carrey, who was freaking awesome Eggman, bro. Like, awesome. He's hilarious, and I'm super excited for this movie just because, like, it's the start of something new. Like, it's the start of, like, this is the second go around of something that, could have possible multiple movies. You know what I'm saying? Because Sonic is such a huge freaking fandom and a huge freaking, like, game, comic, movie, like whatever you want to call it, animated show. Like, there's a lot that you can do with this. So the continued success of this is going to be pivotal. And I think that the way that they're like, it's kind of like a drip feed content, right? With every movie we getting a little bit more and a little bit more of like the Sonic universe. So this time we got Knuckles and we got Tails, and the next time we might get Amy, we might get Shadow. Like, who knows? And it looks like they're actually going to get into, I said actually it sounds like we're going to actually get into more of like just the emeralds and like the rings and all the different powers that Sonic has. With this, it's not so much of them just trying to catch Sonic. This time, this looks like it's going to have more of an effect on the overall world, which I'm excited, because for me, a lot of times with these type of movies, it's all about the stakes, right? Like, you got to make me feel like everything is on the line for some of these lines and for some of these moments and reveals to hit the way they need to do. So for me, the first thing I'm looking for is, how does Eggman get back? That's the first thing, right? But other than that, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? Idris Elba got cast as Knuckles. If y'all didn't know, I talked about it before, but that should be cool. The next thing I wanted to talk about from Netflix is Cowboy Bebop. Man, I didn't even get a chance to watch it yet, and it's already got canceled. Like, they dropped the first season, it got canceled, which makes sense, right? It makes sense because the original anime was only one season. Now, I don't know how many episodes and like how long the Netflix series is. I don't know if it told the whole season story for Cowboy Bebop, but from what I'm seeing, the reception wasn't good if they're already canceling the next season. Like, there's not going to be another one, So, another anime adaptation, to Netflix's record that just doesn't do well. I don't know what they're trying to do with these live actions, bro. Like, you can't do it. Like, I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's just so difficult, bro. It's so difficult to take an animated world and put it on screen. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're going to just do classics, right? Super classics that, some of this stuff, it's not going to hit the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you got the big budget like Star Wars or things like that where, you can make it actual, where you can make like an actual Jedi look and perform like an actual Jedi. It's just like, if we stick into these Netflix budgets, like, I don't know what the budget is, it might be enough, you know what I'm saying, but it's just like, it don't seem to me at least, it doesn't seem like it's like they're not fully equipped to pull off what they're trying to pull off. But that's just me though, because maybe just because I haven't really seen it. Like, I haven't really seen a good animated adaptation live action film. Like, I haven't really seen one, so maybe they just somebody need to break the mold, bro, like. But I'm cool on these animated like, next episode One Piece, right? So, and I'm never gonna finish One Piece. I already know, like, I'm never gonna finish that. So it's just like, do I watch that? I don't know. I'm still gonna watch Cowboy Bebop eventually, but it just was never like, oh, I need to go see this, because I already know, bro. I already know what's good with it. But the next thing, and probably like, to me, the most hyped thing, or just the most, thing I'm looking forward to out of the news for this week is Amandla Sternberg, Amandla Sternberg. Oh, but I tried so hard to say it right. But Amandla Sternberg lands. What's going on, team? I know you guys are enjoying the video right now, but I want to let you guys know that not only are we making videos like this every day, Monday through Friday here on YouTube, but we're streaming on Twitch. We're having these conversations. I want to see you guys in the chat so we can talk about all this stuff live, man. We got a dope community over there, and I would love you guys to join. So check out the Twitch stream, twitch.tv/Ginato Sensei. Link is in the description. Yeah, and I'll see y'all in the chat. Back to the video. Amandla Sternberg. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I can't pronounce her name. Lands lead for Star Wars Acolyte. Now, this is the first news for Acolyte that we have seen. But I am super excited for this, because to me, this is like probably top 2, top 3 most anticipated Star Wars series, because for me, one thing I feel like is missing from Star Wars is the dark side, right? And in an actual, like, movie that is focused, or it don't even got to be a movie, it can be a show, focused on just the journey of somebody that is a Sith, or is in the middle, or uses both the light and the dark, and whatever. And I feel like that's what Acolyte is going to be, but I'm excited for this because it just looks like, to me, it's the best looking title logo to me. Like, that's just me, but I'm excited for this because Amandla is dope. I didn't know who was gonna be cast for this. I don't know anything about Acolyte. I don't know where it comes from, anything. But I love Star Wars, and the more and more content we get, it's gonna be fire. You know what I'm saying? And to find out that another black woman is gonna be the lead in a Star Wars project, that's always fire. So I'm super geeked about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not really that much news. It's just the fact that this happened. So hopefully we start getting some more news as time goes along. But without further ado, man, let's get into the weekly recap. All right, y'all. So first up, man, we gotta talk about Hawkeye. Hawkeye probably had his most dope episode, because it just opened the world up for me. First things first, though, my man Clayton going crazy. Clayton English going crazy. Multiple cameos in this series. I'm super hyped for that, man. Just because, you know, I just wasn't expecting it. And 85 South Show. Shout out to 85 South Show. I always thought Clayton was funny. Well, I never understood why he, stopped getting on Wild Out. I don't know, but that's besides the point. Let's get into the actual episode. But to me, the most important thing that we got from this episode was when Hawkeye said, "The shot I didn't take was the most important," right? Because he was talking about Natasha Romanoff or Black Widow, where he was sent out there to actually assassinate her, but ended up choosing against it because he could tell, for some reason he could tell that there was something more to the story. And actually, they ended up becoming who they became, and he ended up killing her anyway, which sucks. Like, I mean, he didn't kill her, right? But in his mind, I think that he thinks he killed her, because he couldn't sacrifice himself. Now, I think they're both dealing with different demons. I think, to measure those, right, is a different thing, because with the Black Widow movie, we finally found out like what happened in Budapest, and why she became who she became when she ended up blowing up a little girl, right, that she thought was dead but turned out to be Taskmaster. And that's just a whole nother thing. But the point of this, right, is that Yelena is back, right? We saw at the end of the movie she met with Lady Val. Lady Val, man, Lady Val, I need to see you. I need to see you somewhere in Hawkeye. I need to see you somewhere in the more recent movies that's coming up, because she doing something. She doing something. I don't know what this is leading to, but she doing something, and I need to figure it out. But in this episode, Yelena, Natasha's sister, come back to get revenge. She's coming back to kill Hawkeye because Lady Val told her that's who killed her sister. And obviously Yelena doesn't have the old story, but for the simple fact that Kate didn't take that shot. She had her dead to rights. She didn't take the shot though. Says a lot. Says a lot to where this story could go. I like that they're merging not only the world of just crime, right, obviously, with the tracksuit gang and with Kingpin possibly, and then now we got confirmation that Daredevil is going to be in the MCU. Like, New York is about to be popping, you know what I'm saying? So we got that angle. Then we also have the whole Jack situation, right? I think his name is Jack. But we have that whole situation where he's not saying who he really is, right? We know he's somebody that knows what they're doing, because not only does he have connections and has a family tied to money, but he's obviously the CEO of a farm show company, that was something else we learned in that episode, where he's moving money for these different criminal organizations. So there's a whole dynamic for that. And now we got another thing. At first we was fighting a war on two fronts. Now we fighting a war on three, right? With Yelena just being a wild card, and until she understands what actually happened, because they could never put out the full story of how they got the Soul Stone. Like, that's something that Hawkeye is going to take to his grave, and or maybe not take to his grave, but like, that's not going to be put out to the public. You know what I'm saying? In public knowledge. Now, Lady Val probably knew about it, but, for her own interest, she'd rather have, the Ronin taken out, because the Ronin was the one that is actually, taking out all of the crime during that period of time of the blip, and he's still dealing with repercussions of that. So until, he deals with all three of these things, he can never really go back to his family. And I don't know where I stand on where I think is gonna happen, just because it's just a lot going on. But this joint got me hyped, bro. This joint got me super hyped, and I think that was just a really dope quote. The shot I didn't take, that was the most important one. Like that was the most impressive one or whatever. Like, cause just like what makes you like you go out to these missions, right? And this is another point where I was like, Hawkeye is really jaded to life. Like he's dealt with a lot. The PTSD probably is crazy. Like he probably doesn't sleep at all, right? Because of not only just the things he did as Ronin, but the things he did prior to the Avengers and what happened during when he was an Avenger, and even with stuff that's still continuing to happen today. He's still probably dealing with that. But it's just like it's crazy. It's crazy to see how much he's trying to save Kate from becoming not necessarily who he is, but save her from his life. But Kate is just like, nah, this is who I'm supposed to be. And it's just like tug of war on, and it's just crazy. But I'm really liking Hawkeye. I like where it's going. I don't know how many episodes is left, but it's on fire if y'all haven't started checking it out. But the main thing that I have been watching over the last week is freaking Boruto, bro. Like, I've gone through so many arcs. It's hard to even really like come to y'all right now with a synopsis of what I really been watching, because we went from fighting Jigen, to fighting Ishikiki. I don't know how to say his name, but we started to fight him in his full body, full revival or whatever. We found out what a karma really is. It's literally like technology. It's literally like a technology, a backup hard drive that they place in people, so that when they either get killed, or if they get eaten by the Ten Tails, to bring about the infinite Tsukiyomi, to get the chakra fruit or whatever, that they get revived in their new host or vessel, and then they continue to move on from planet to planet. They're literally aliens, bro. That's what's crazy. I didn't think that was what they were gonna come up with. Before this point, it was more so like there's just a mystical being. It wasn't like they're alien, because yes, they said that Kaguya crashed down from space, right? But I never was thinking like straight up just alien, but I've seen so much, bro. I've seen so much, and I don't know where to really start, other than just like probably the most sentimental moment that I've seen in Boruto so far, right, was just the loss of Kurama. We go from thinking that both of them was going to die to just knowing that Kurama was going to die, and he knew that Naruto wouldn't go through with it if he knew what was really good, So the fact that we saw this freaking new mode, right? And I don't know how to say it, because I've only watched that fight really once. I probably had to go back to it to really understand it, but it was just like the last thing, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, imagine if all the rest of the tail beasts had this thing. Like, they don't even know that this is a thing, probably, right? And it got me to think, like, where Konoha used to be a superpower, it's not no more. I got past to the point where they held another tuning exams, and now we got 4 new tuning. They got new captains, and it's like the youth is straight, right? But the Jonin is not. Jonin is weak bodies right now. I need Konohamaru to step it up. I've said that over the last week, man. I would think that, he would master a lot more jutsus than he has, and he has a variety, right? But just the level of threats that they're fighting, it's just like, yo, they not he not really there. He not really there, bro. I like the progression that Boruto's having, and Kawaki, that now they consider them each other brothers. I don't know how we get to the point where Boruto and Kawaki are fighting again, but I'm just excited for this next episode where I'm about to see Mitsuki and Boruto fight, because they missed the whole tuning exam thing. But this show is freaking goated. Like, it took a minute. It was really slow, but we got there, and I really, I'm hooked. I'm hooked. This is the only thing I really want to watch right now, honestly. Like, I've been trying to watch Wheel of Time and stuff, but it's just like that show is super slow too, and I know it's supposed to be good, but it's just not. It's not grabbing my attention right now. I just want to keep moving forward and Boruto and catch up to where everybody else is at, because I want to be talking about current stuff. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that's pretty much it for the anime stuff. Let's talk about some Young Justice. So things are getting serious, and they have been serious since the jump, right? R.I.P. to my man Superboy. But as far as in this arc, things are getting serious because I really really like how they are explaining and breaking down the Lords of Chaos and the Lords of Order, right? Because this is something that I've noticed prior and never really understood, and the more and more that we're getting background on just how the world of how the world of just super people has become what it is, with the whole metagene and stuff like that. Like, I think it's super interesting that anytime you look back to where something happened, it's just like there's Vandal Savage, right? And to find out, like, I knew Atlantis was on land at first, but it was the Lords of Chaos that brought it down to the sea, right? And I was just like, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. Only a few of them survived to become the next Atlanteans. And it's just like, it's weird because, I was listening to a podcast or whatever, where like people from D&D, that was like a dungeon master, like where they broke down like what a villain is and what they're supposed to be and stuff like that. And I never really realized, and it hit different because I was watching Boruto and things like that, where it's just like, villains are really the heroes in their own story. And I was just like, bro, that's such a simple thing, right? But I was like, bro, that makes so much sense. That's why they be so like gung-ho on doing what their plan is, right? And for Vandal Savage, that is the advancement of the human race, right? So for me, it's like, okay, like, we gotta start picking the lesser of two evils at this point, and to see that he's taking everything off Earth because the Lords of Chaos are coming to reset the scales and reset the balance of things. And it's interesting to see that they put all their power into this one little orphan girl that really is like hasn't really broke a sweat. Like, you can't really kill her, right? Like, unless you're you kill the actual like host thing that keeps them domain to this planet or whatever, you can't really do nothing against them, right? So I don't know how they're gonna win. We got to saw the little demon guy again, which was cool, but it's just an interesting point, and this is when the pacing issues come in, because I know after the next episode they're probably going to go into a whole nother arc, and it's just going to be that, and it's just like, what are we doing? But that's where I stand with Young Justice right now. I literally, before this, I went to record this episode of the podcast on stream, I finally watched the newest episode of Insecure Man, and I'm really like, I feel like I'm accepting what's happening. Like, I finally like understand, like, okay, there's not gonna be a huge like thing at the end of the season, like how the season before this ended. Like, there's not gonna be that. Like, it's gonna end off very mild, and I don't think that means that this season is mid, because that's how I was feeling earlier. But it's just like, like the things that they're doing between every episode, from Issa manifesting what could happen in multiple situations in the future based on one decision. Those are things that we all go through, right? Seeing Molly go through the whole process with getting a will for her parents and things like that. That's something that, I mean, I haven't gone through yet, but we all like can understand, and that's what the show is about, is shedding light into like what this life journey is like. And we all wanted to, I can't speak everybody, but for me, like, I wanted not necessarily a messy ending, but I wanted I wanted drama, like, and it's still there. It's still there, especially with Lawrence still being on Issa's mind, right? She got everything that she could want in a person in Nate, but it's just like she's still struggling with the loss of the love of her life, and she's not really addressing it. And it's not necessarily fair to Nate, which I feel so bad for this man, because it's like, like, I do think that Issa does love him, but it's just like, does she love him enough? Because you can have, it's different types of love, right? And it's different types of actual, like, situations. And that's why I really be feeling like, Issa not going to end up with nobody, because it's like, she's just going to end up getting hurt or hurting other people until she deal with what's really in front of her. Now, this episode in this season really has been focusing on just Molly and Issa, but there's other factors that are coming back into play, like Crenshaw, Tiffany's moving to Denver, and Kelly is figuring out what she wants to do next. So there's a lot of moving parts that hopefully start to get wrapped up, and we get a good gist of where it's going to go, because anything could still happen at this point. But I'm definitely accepting that it's not going to be a salacious ending. That doesn't mean it won't be, but it's just like, I don't think that's a type of ending that they really wanted. Like, I think they wanted like something that would make you maybe want to come back and watch the whole thing again. And I think after seeing Game of Thrones, I think they're playing their cards close to their chest and playing it safe. So that's where I stand with Insecure at this point. I did want to mention this show, this other show on HBO that just wrapped up its first season, Sex Life for College Girls, because to me, this is a show that I was like, it's like something outside the box for me, right? Obviously, for obvious reasons, but it was a very insightful show of like just all the things that girls be dealing with, and just like they walk, right? And some stuff I was aware of, some stuff it was just like, dang, like they be going through a lot, bro. And it's not like, it's stuff like you don't even really think about, and this is a different I don't know, situation or culture, I guess you can say, of what it could be. And it's not something I'm like, I went to school, right? But I had a whole completely different experience. Like the HBCU experience is completely different than PWI. So it was just a cool little insight in just a funny show. Honestly, it's a funny show too. But I think it'll be dope to see this, and it's just a lot going on in there, And I think if you just want something that, is a little introspective and something that's just like could, cleanse the palate. That's what I like to call these type of things. It cleanse the palate, right? I think this is a good show. But that's pretty much it for the weekly recap. I can't even say it. That's pretty much it for the weekly recap. Let's get into the filler arc. The only thing I really got down here is, well, I had a couple things. So obviously, today is my birthday, right? Or not today, but Wednesday, when this actually drops on all the platforms. So if y'all could do me a huge favor, like the video, follow the stream, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on your podcast platform, hit that like button. That would be a great freaking birthday present. You know what I'm saying? And then also, like, I've been trying to catch up on Wheel of Time, bro. I'm in the second episode, but that joint is slow and it's hard, bro. I was falling asleep while I was watching that joint, literally. And I just want to say, like, if y'all looking for just something to really, I don't know. I've had, like, over the last year, I've been watching a lot of D&D online, and those are some of the most interesting people on the world, in the planet, like on the world, or whatever you want to call it. Like, I love hearing them talk about storytelling. I love hearing them talking about characters and acting and stuff like that, because it's just like you can learn a lot just from listening and watching a story play out amongst people, because it's not scripted from a holistic standpoint, but it's scripted because the dungeon master has like the whole freaking thing. But just the improv and just the adventures that you can go on, like some episodes are, or some seasons are really short, some seasons are really long, like Critical Role. But that joint is super interesting, bro. And it's just a new thing I never thought I'd be interested in. And then the last thing, bro. My Cowboys beat the Washington football team. That's all I got. That's all I got. It wasn't pretty, but we did it. We won. The next one is at home. That's like 2 weeks from now, or maybe a week from now. I don't know. But I don't know. That just had me geek, bro. I know we're supposed to beat them, but it is what it is. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you did. Follow on all your social medias and your favorite audio platforms. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitch. Y'all know what to do, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all know the vibes. Always keep growing, so you're going. It's been your boy G. I'm gone. Peace. Dang, I know they like that video, bruh. That's crazy. I can't wait to see the comment. Whoa, what are you still doing here? Well, since you're here, you might as well hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because if you didn't, what are we really here for? If you're still here at this point, you probably still want to know and talk more about it. So come through on the Twitch stream, man. Twitch.tv/Ginato Sensei. I want to see you in the chat. Let me know you came from YouTube, and we could talk about today's video, discuss anime, movies, films. Y'all already know what it is, bro. Wait, that's still not it? Oh, I know what it is. You was wondering about this drip right here. Well, you can check that out on IG, Growth Apparel. That's Growth Apparel, GRWTH. It's on the screen right now. So go copy you a tee, man. I'm gonna see y'all in chat. I'm gonna see y'all in these comments. I appreciate y'all once again. Y'all already know I rocks with you, bro. I'm out of here. You still here? Ah, y'all gang.